Step into the Incense and Whiskey sanctuary with mindfulness enthusiasts and verified whiskey lovers, Mecca and Ashley, as they discuss all the random topics they love, from mindfulness to memes. This is Ashley.
And this is Mecca.
So, Mecca, hey, what's going on? I have a question for you.
Okay.
Do you remember when we decided to launch a podcast together?
Ooh. When we decided to launch the podcast, I vaguely, because it kind of goes back to when did we meet, but like we decided that we were going to launch this podcast. I feel like it was like a swimming pool.
Yeah.
Barbecue situation.
It definitely was a barbecue situation.
Okay.
And I think it was maybe after a couple of appetizers
and cocktails
and some cocktails and about 2 hours of a good old kiki together. I remember I was asking you, what's your opinion on this? And did you watch this?
Yes. You know.
And did you? And look, we're about to do it now. So it was one of those kind of situations. I remember thinking, I have never met somebody that I can just sit with and talk to them for hours about like the most random range of topics. And I felt like we should record this and we should do a podcast.
Yeah.
And do you remember? And that was like that was like maybe 3 years ago.
Yeah, that was like 2017, I think.
So that was 2017. We are finally here. We have launched Incense and Whiskey.
Yes.
Almost 20 episodes in.
And Ashley, I share the same sentiments. Like, you know, you guys don't know this, but we started this conversation 3 hours ago.
We did, y'all. We started talking 3
and
hours.
We didn't start recording until just now. So
oh, and I have to tell you, somebody asked me, one of the listeners to their show asked me, so I said something about, we were talking recently, and they said, so you and Mecca are like that in real life? And I was like, yes, literally, this is how we talk in real life, and this is our rapport in real life. I think I had told them we were about to record something, and we had decided to do a meditation together before we recorded to get our energy right. Uh-huh. And this person was like, y'all really do this stuff?
Yes.
I was like, yes, this is how we really are. And and she was telling me, I feel like I'm listening to you all, but I'm a part of the conversation.
Oh, I've heard that too.
Yeah, but you are. And so I want all the listeners to know, yes, we're kikiing and sharing our information with each other, but it is very much a conversation that we want you to feel like you're a part of it. You one of us engaging in discussion just
Absolutely.
as much as we are. Yeah.
And it's funny. One of my really good friends said that she was like, it's hard for me to listen to it because I want to jump in the conversation too.
Yes.
Like I feel like I should be part of the conversation. And I was like, you can totally be part of the conversation, and that's how we want you to feel. Like you guys are like almost listening to us on the phone, and then it's, you know what I mean. And then, but there's a specific subject. So I love to hear that from our listeners. And I love the fact that this was definitely a project that we talked about. We kikied about it. And I don't even remember what the random topics we were talking about that kicked this off.
Yeah.
But I know that it was this year that we were like, yo, let's just do it.
I will have to give all the props to Mecca. Mecca was the one who got this thing going. She called me one day, are we doing this or not? And she did the legwork, she did the research, and was like, this is how we can approach it, this is how we can start it, when you want to start. And so it's that self-starter in you that got us going. Mecca was ready, y'all. She had all the, this is how we're gonna do it, and we're doing it. It's happening. You know how many people say like, oh, I have been saying I wanted to do a podcast, or I was interested in podcasting for several years. And now, thanks to Mecca, we're finally achieving that goal.
But you were like, this was motivation. So this was good. I mean, I've been saying the same thing, but it's kind of like this accountability, right? When there's something due to a person or to a thing, then you're like, I want to get it done. I got to be a person of my word. And I kind of felt like, we had the time, and, I had to do a little research on how we can get it done, effectively, something that won't be so cumbersome to both of us. So it just worked itself out. I mean, and Ashley, you are completely easy to work with.
Hey,
Topics. I love all the topics that we talk about. I love our, even we agree to disagree, which is perfect. And it's not one of those things that like the world ends if we're not agreeing with each other. So I love the fact. And just so you guys know, we decided that when we communicate, we have, what do we call it? Opening grace.
Yeah, so some of y'all may have heard Mecca say this on the podcast. So one of our group agreements as creative partners is that we are going to approach our relationship, our dynamic, our conversation with an open mind and grace. So you'll hear us say like open grace or open and grace whenever we're talking with each other. So if you hear that somewhere, that's what that means, and that's how that started.
Which I love, because that kind of it sets the foundation. I absolutely love that. And so, yeah, we decided that we were going to have this podcast, and we were like, well, wait, what are we talking about? It went from,
everything,
recipes to social justice, to reality shows, to kikiing up about light gossip. And then I'm like, wait a minute, what are we both into like heavily? Like, and when I say heavily, I mean, what is it, something that we are mastering or mastered, right? And it was one of those things that, both of us really like wellness in regards to like exercising, meditation. We're always finding and participating in any type of program that betters ourselves. So that was our common denominator. But then the other part was Ashley had just finished
my executive bourbon certificate. I'm an executive bourbon professional, y'all.
And you've been talking about doing that, and I was like, I was like, girl, I'm so proud of you, because you said you wanted to do it, and you did it.
Yeah, at the top of the year, actually.
At the top of the year,
COVID didn't stop me. I had that one already done.
I had just finished up I did a whole like sound healing certificate. So, and I really love sound therapy, you guys. You guys will hear a lot more about that next year. But I really love like sound therapy and gong washes and all the instruments.
Can I make a confession?
Yeah.
You remember, this was probably not recorded on the show, but at some point you told me I need to listen to, is it binaural beats? Is that how you pronounce it?
Binaural beats.
So now, Mecca, why is that my new bathtub routine?
Yes.
Now when I get in the bathtub, I gotta listen to
what hurts are you listening to?
I don't know. Listen, I gotta go look at whatever Spotify tells me.
Listen,
change my life, y'all. Change my life.
It changes your life, and I'm so, look at you. See, and now
I be listening.
And so, yeah, that was part of our love, and I feel like we were able to kind of mesh both worlds together, to say, incense represented wellness, bettering yourself, kind of creating your space. And then the whiskey part of it was not just the alcohol spirit itself, because that was something that Ashley definitely mastered, but then also was able to teach us about just the dynamics of that part of like that spectrum of the spirit. I want to say the spirit. And but whiskey also represented like the fun, light shade, or not even light shade, but like gossipy or social, something non-wellness. I guess that's the best way of saying it.
I would say, like communing together socially, just enjoying one another's company. We tend to get together and have a good cocktail over dinner, over brunch, over happy hour, what have you, and enjoy each other's company. And so that's how I would also think about it. So it was really bringing together those two different vibes in combination, and we wanted to make sure we threaded them through each of our episodes consistently.
Right.
And I think we've done that.
Yeah, I think we've done a good job with that. So that's how we came up with Incense and Whiskey.
Yeah, Incense and Whiskey. Um, the segments that you all hear are pure imagination and the things that we come up with and we're interested in exploring and discussing. My fun fact, my dad's favorite part of the show is the fire and ice segment.
I love Fire and
He
Ice.
loves them. My dad thinks you are the funniest person ever.
I
He's
love it.
always like, Mecca's responses are so, where did she come up with this stuff? He thinks it's just so funny. One of my other family members absolutely loves the Whiskey Chronicles and like
Ooh.
getting her a little recipe and hearing a good story. So yeah, I think that there's different elements out there for everyone.
I love that. And just Ashley comes up with all of the Fire and Ice questions. And they are always on point and always keep me guessing. And she will not tell me what anything is. And I hear the question as you guys hear them, and I answer them as you hear them on the spot. So I don't know what she's going to ask me.
It's
Ever.
the best
And I'm always like, just tell me what it is. Give me a hint so I can kind of know. And she's like, no, that's what makes it good. So Ashley's really good with creating that Fire and Ice content. I like the quick-witted expert as well and make it make sense. Those are funny to me.
I love Make It Make Sense. Y'all have to know that this came out of yet another conversation where we were just laughing at one another. And I asked Mecca to explain something to me, and I was like, make it make sense, Mecca. And that is how it turned into a segment, and I love it. It's also one of my favorites for sure.
Yeah, this has been very fun, a really nice outlet, and I hope that our listeners have also been able to laugh and maybe get some information out of it in a very lighthearted manner. So we appreciate everyone that listens to us, and we hope that you continue the ride with us as well.
Yes. Thank you for rocking with us in 2020. And here's to more good things to come in 2021.
Definitely. Thank you guys. Have a great rest of the year and stay safe.
Is this like the Black Girl meditation music?
Ashley, are you ready for 2021?
Yes, unequivocally.
What does that mean for you? I'm ready for 2021.
I'm ready for 2021 in that I'm ready to experience the hope that comes with a new year, a new beginning. And I think we have a few new beginnings to look forward to in 21, a new political administration, a new understanding of the pandemic and ways that we can overcome it and mitigate it. So yes, that's what I mean.
Well, you are definitely on to something because this 2021 is, from a spiritual point of view and an astrological point of view, this is definitely new beginnings. We are entering like of what we're calling the age of Aquarius.
Okay.
So I'm going to kind of give you like a numerologist of what 2021 is, like briefly. So 2021 equals to 5 is a 5 universal year. So 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 1 equals 5. And that's a pivot point, right? So in a series of powerful positive changes, 2021 will offer many opportunities for choices and decisions for the future. There will be constant activity and curiosity about life. So 2021 is all about freedom in action. And because it's a universal year, 5 represents change, liberation, exploration, risk, adventure, connections, crowds, travel, enthusiasm, and freedom. Freedom being number 1 of those. So it's like it focuses on what needs to be shifted and ultimately frees you from fear. So in 2021, you will feel the joy, adventure, and flexibility to create miracles in your life. This is like take your foot off the brake and go, like move forward in life. Like anything that you feel like is holding you back, anything that's kind of like, anything that keeps you limited in your own brain, let it go. One thing that happened this week was, on Monday, there was this Jupiter, Saturn connection that, happens every 400 years. And the one thing that was like one of the best times to manifest and talk about your intentions. But one thing I would say is, even carrying that on to 2021, like we have been kind of like brainwashed, almost like, what do you resolve for 2021? What do you resolve for the next year? Well, instead of doing that, like, I think it'd be cool just to kind of like create your intentions on like what are the things that you want to see? Like, what are you intending to do? Not like, okay, I want to lose 5 pounds. I want to do this. All those things are great. And if those better you, do them. But like physically, emotionally, spiritually, like what is your intentions for yourself? I'll go first.
Okay.
My intentions, I've said this a couple of times, is I just want to eliminate any limited beliefs. Any limited belief, I want to eliminate it. Our belief system makes up 100% of how we live our lives. So I want to make sure that any limiting beliefs that are carrying around in me they're leaving the building, exit out, stage left, because I want to be I want to be in the mindset of everything is possible. I know it's possible. And if you live from that point, then you can live a more abundant and prosperity life, prosper life. So what would be something that you have intentions for in 2021?
So the way that I approach intentions or thinking about what I would like to experience in the next year, I actually go about doing a visioning board session.
Okay.
And so on my vision board are images of the ways that I want to feel in 2021. So one of the biggest things is I really have learned a lot this year about the benefit of rest and how that enables me to achieve creativity, to operate from a higher level of thinking. So I have some images that make me think of feeling rested and experiencing what I call moments of luxury and setting myself up for the longer term. Because I've come to a point where I realize I can't like run myself down consistently over and over and expect to achieve what I want to achieve. So it's probably a long way and kind of off way of thinking about it, but that's how I go about setting my intentions. My intentions are to set myself up for the longer term. And for that for me, that means having moments of rest and rejuvenation and building them in as a part of my routine.
I like that. I mean, and you nailed it. Like, and one thing I learned is rest can make a huge difference. I know it's hard for me to make decisions when I'm grumpy and sleepy and tired.
Oh yeah. Yes.
I know that even if I'm not tired and I really need to make a decision, it's always best that I sleep on it. It's always best that I've gone to sleep, I've rested my brain to reset, and then make a decision that I need. And I like the idea, vision boards have been around forever, and I like that. I like what you just said. You said you like to use a vision board to display what you want to feel like.
Yeah.
That's a little bit different than what you feel like you like want to see, what visually, I want this car, I want this. You talk about what you want to feel like. And that is so important.
Yeah. This is the first year that I looked at my vision board in that way. And I really actively tried to seek out images that I felt like put me in that frame of mind, or I would look at them and immediately know. Because y'all, whenever I create a vision board, everything on that vision board does come to pass.
That's how it works. That's how it works.
I put a bottle of bourbon on my vision board last year because I said I want to get more engaged in the bourbon industry. And then look, now I have this certification.
And a podcast.
So yeah, I think it's powerful. It's a powerful tool for me, but for everybody, find out what the tool is. I'm learning this bit about numerology, and that's really powerful too. I don't know that much about numerology, so look at you, Mecca, putting me on yet again.
Put you on just a little bit, just a little something, It's a pretty cool tool. I mean, there's so many cool tools that we've used throughout this year, and I haven't done a vision board in a very long time. The last time I did it in a sense of I created really art, right? So I would take images that I wanted to either see or a feeling that I wanted to have, and I would find an image of it, and then I would frame it and create like a little gallery wall on a small piece of my wall in my room to kind of create it. So so it looked like art to me, but also like, okay, it's set in stone almost a little bit. Not to say that your visions can't change, but you just kind of gave me a thought that maybe I'll create one this year.
Yeah, I worked with like a professional like career coach recently.
Okay.
And she actually took me through a visioning exercise where we verbally discussed what type of work environment I wanted to work in, what I want my commute to look like, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And she actually encouraged me to create a vision board specifically for that as well.
Okay.
I haven't done it as of yet because that was a little odd to me. Like, do I go find a photo of the building? Like, what do I do? But I do think it would be powerful as a tool in terms of manifestation. So
yeah, and it doesn't have to be like your entire year. You know, if you have a certain vision or a feeling that you want to have around money, create that piece for it. If you have a feeling or a vision around your home life, how you want it to look, how you want it to feel, you can create images around that. Your love life, don't feel like it has to be like your whole life on one board. It can be very segmented as well. So
for sure.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be just for that upcoming year. I know I make one annually, but I saw recently on Instagram, I follow Miss Issa Rae. I love Issa Rae.
Yes.
And she did a brief video, it's probably like 4 minutes or so, where she pulled up her vision board from, I believe it was 2013, and sat and talked about the things that were on her vision board that she has been able to accomplish in the last 7 years.
Wow.
So she had like long-term vision, y'all.
Yeah.
She literally had like the HBO logo on it. She had like,
really?
She had like cover, like I want to be on a magazine cover, but she had used the cover from Cover Girl. And she was like, and look at that. I didn't even recognize that I was using the word cover from Cover Girl.
And she did a Cover Girl commercial, didn't she?
She's now a Cover Girl. Yes.
Wow, look at
that.
Yes.
She had like movies, like some kind of movie thing. And she was like, I've now been on like 2 movies. Like, oh, she had Netflix. She had the Netflix logo. She was like, I didn't really know exactly what that would be. But now 2 of her movies are on Netflix. So it was amazing to me to think that she had that much vision 7 years ago.
Yeah.
For her life and how much of that. So then I was like, oh, shoot, do I need to be making this long-term vision board? Like, she might be onto something.
Yes, Incense and Whiskey Sanctuary.
Yes.
Ashley Empire. Board. Yes. All of
taking
that.
Over.
All of that deserves it. Catch us next time on Incense and Whiskey.
In the meantime, take a breath, have a sip.